Hello, everybody. So today is August 21st. You are going to scroll until you get to the post that says 821 compound. So here you have the link for the reading. You have the attachment that has the questions you need to answer and turn into me. My email is right here. So let's get into the reading. We are going to be learning about compounds. So we just learned what elements are. So element is the simplest form of matter. They're pure substances. They cannot be broken down into other pure substances. They cannot be changed into other pure substances. Now, when elements start to combine, they are known as compounds. So a compound is going to be a substance that contains two or more elements chemically combined in a fixed proportion. Okay? So example, carbon and hydrogen form a lot of compounds. Carbon is very abundant. So one of the simplest is called methane. So methane is a fuel. So there's always 4 times as many hydrogen particles as there are carbon particles in methane. So methane is a pure substance because it is going to have the same composition, but it is not an element because it can be broken down into simpler substances. You can break it down into carbon and hydrogen. So the components of a mixture can be separated by physical means, but for a compound, it needs to be, they cannot be broken down by a physical process. So they can be decomposed into their different elements by a chemical process. Okay? So to separate mixtures, we use physical means. We make a physical change where the components of a mixture retain their properties. With compounds, we use chemical means to make a chemical change and turn the compound into something else. So a lot of compounds can be decomposed by heating. If you heat sugar, you can decompose it to carbon and water. Water is also a compound, but it cannot be broken down by heating. Instead, if you pass an electrical current through it, it's going to make hydrogen and oxygen gas. So the properties of compounds are going to be very different than the properties of the elements they're composed of. So in sodium chloride, sodium is a very reactive soft metal. You cannot expose it to air or water. And then chlorine is a deadly gas. So the chlorine that you put in your swimming pool is actually made into, it's actually in a compound so that it isn't harmful. All right. So make sure that you finish your questions and turn them into me.